blank is mid. That is a common, and I mean common thing I see on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, surprisingly sometimes Instagram, for any series. And this is very, very common in the anime and manga space. Because for whatever reason, and there is like a multitude of different reasons, somebody will call something mid for either thinking that it was not that great as it was hyped up to be by other people, they thought it was not amazing, they just want to make people angry for the fact that it's popular, or they just want to see people just get angry over their favorite series not being enjoyed by others, or not being told to be as great as it is, or just for the fact of trolling to the extent of causing literal fandom warfare online. This happens so much on Twitter, and sometimes even TikTok, that I honestly am kind of grown sick of it. Now, I have been a fan of anime and manga for the betterment of a decade at this point, and manga for like 6 years, so about half a decade. And now my YouTube channel is more or less entirely manga-centric at this point, with some anime stuff here and there whenever I have the time to do so. But if I wasn't for Twitter or even this channel, I probably would not have come to terms with the word mid as an insult, because over time, I myself thought of it as an insult to a series. Like if someone called One Piece mid, I kind of like, okay, that's not true, One Piece is great. But over time, I realized, and I've seen a bunch of different series, that my opinion is just my opinion. If I think something is mid, that's one thing. If someone thinks something I like is mid, that's another. Because here's the thing, we as humans, as individual human beings and people, have different opinions, have different personalities, different life experiences that shape what we like, what we dislike, what we think is okay in terms of like media, storytelling, gaming, whatever. And at the end of the day, it comes to a point where we would think something that we really, really enjoy is perfect or even a masterpiece. And that might actually be a video in and of itself, but to make it short, if you call something a masterpiece or perfect, you're literally stating that there are no flaws in it. There's nothing to be improved upon. There's nothing that could potentially change to make the story or the characters better. Every single detail, whether it be the artwork, the writing, or the presentation or pacing, nothing is off. Everything is perfect. Nothing to be improved upon or changed. It is amazing. And look, I'm pretty sure there is something out there that everybody can universally agree on is good, but I just have not seen it, because if there is even a single person that says something is not great or is not perfect, then it's not technically a masterpiece, because by that definition, there will be no reason for anybody to disagree with you and say that the series is not amazing, perfect, masterful. Other synonyms that revolve around that. And that's kind of something that no one really tends to understand at this point, unless you're a relatively understanding person and you kind of get that opinions are opinions. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there that do not want to make people angry or just be a troll. But those people get drowned out by the waves of just toxic fandoms, toxic writers, or just people who just want to cause discourse for the hell of it. And the main thing is the word mid that keeps popping up over and over and over again for any series. And like I said, it's anime and manga that happens a lot. People will call the big three mid. People will call the new gen of manga and anime mid. And they'll give like flimsy reasons or just reasons that they particularly don't like about it, therefore makes it mid. It's not good. And people can literally confuse it with meaning bad or even trash. And that's simply not the case. It's sort of like a 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of like an out of 10 rating. It's not bad. It's not great. It's okay. That's kind of how it is. But to go a bit more into this, I have a good friend of mine, RJ from On The Rise. He's a really good guy and he makes really awesome content. And he has some words to talk about when it comes to the type of discourse that comes around the word mid. So let's transition over to him.
Hey guys, I'm RJ from On The Rise. It's nice to be on this channel. Thanks to the Greek Weeb for having me. And yeah, basically what I do is I talk about anime in the most cinematic way possible, using all different types of skits, green screens, etc., etc. And basically, the channel is just a place for the anime community to come together. TGW. TGW. There we go. I like that. TGW. That's your new name from now on. Alright, so we all know the origins of mid, or if you don't know the origins of mid, it basically stands for middle. Mid means middle. That's where the slang term comes from. It means middle. And To be honest, mid is only really an insult because something is middle. It means it's average. It's okay. Mid is only an insult when you use it against hyper toxic fandoms, such as I'm going to call a few fandoms here, such as the One Piece fandom, such as the Fullmetal Alchemist fandom, such as the Attack on Titan fandom. And the reason why I call out these specific fandoms is because those specific shows are raved as community masterpieces, which means that a lot of people within the anime community rave those anime very highly, right? So when you look at something that the anime community raves as a masterpiece, or people are saying you're supposed to like this if you're not supposed to like this, but you are bound to like this if you're an anime fan, and an anime fan comes out and says, oh, well, no, I don't like this thing is mid, then suddenly mid becomes an insult. Suddenly, then how could you call this mid? Da, 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 da. When in reality, the person is only saying, I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. So it's like, I think mid is only an insult when it's used against shows that the community tells you that is good, right? And to be honest, it's not that bad, because it just means they didn't find it great. It doesn't mean they thought it was bad, though. They just didn't find it great. That's it. That's all it means, right? But then again, you call something mid that the community raves as a masterpiece, or the community raves as good, and suddenly you have millions and millions of fans saying that you just insulted their livelihood, beat up their dog, ran over their house. How do you run over a house? Burned down their house, etc., etc., etc. Suddenly becomes a giant problem, and you just offended thousands of people when you just called the show okay, right? And trust me, I get it. I do. If someone were to call shows like Licorice Recoil, Golden Kamuy, Blood Lad, or even worse, Made in Abyss mid, I'd be the first one there typing this long paragraphs defending my favorite shows. Like, how dare you insult me in this way? I get it. But, guys, at the end of the day, don't take it so personally. It's not personal at all. All of this is just subjective, really. It really isn't a personal attack towards you, unless they call you mid. Then fight them. You have no other choice but to fight them. Fight them every single day. Fight them every single minute. Go get them. Beat their ass. I'm joking. Yeah, try not to take it personally. All of this is subjective. There is no such thing as an objective viewpoint on art. All art is subjective by nature of what subjectivity and objectivity means. All art is subjective because we all view it, we all perceive it differently, so don't take it personally. Unless they call Licorice Recoil mid, then we riot. We fucking riot. But, guys, okay. To sum up my little TED talk here, so I don't overstay my welcome. Just stay off Twitter. As someone who's chronically on Twitter, I can assure you that it does rot your brain. That being said, follow me on Twitter at OnTheRiseWhite.
Thanks again, RJ. I really appreciated you coming on here. But yeah, as he stated, mid is literally just okay, and these fandoms, especially in anime and manga communities, tend to take it as personal insults when someone ends up calling it mid, thinking that it's trash. And some people will end up literally considering you to just say something is trash rather than mid at this point, and it's just infuriating, at least to me, and it's just gotten annoying for a lot of other people. And another thing that happens when you call a series mid and there's fan discourse over it is that it is another form of gatekeeping from what I've noticed, because whenever someone calls a series mid, and now that it's associated more with being bad, which is not the case, people will tend to stay away from a series. And if they see fandoms being toxic and just literally foaming at the mouth to rip each other apart, it'll push more and more people away from different anime and manga, making them go to other series or just not wanting to give the medium a try at all. And that's something that I don't think any of us want, because anime and manga is getting more and more mainstream. More people are checking it out. Anime conventions are more prominent. Anime Expo, from what I've seen, sold almost double the tickets that they were supposed to, and it was beyond the capacity of it, where there was like seas of people inside the one particular center where the expo was taking place in. And that was 2 years in a row, and apparently this year, 2023, was even more than the year prior. And beyond that, there are other conventions that have anime, whether they be anime-centric or even other Comic-Con events where they have anime there, whether it be voice actors or just certain sections for merchandise or announcements. It's a lot more prominent. More and more people will get into anime or get interested. And when someone calls something that's incredibly popular and talked about mid, and people at this point will consider mid an insult or meaning that it's bad, and seeing the toxicity from different fandoms or just people on the wider variety of the internet being very negative about it and just very carnivorous and taking each other apart with these types of opinions, which are opinions, it'll push more people away. And that is another form of gatekeeping in a sense, and it's just really sad to see. Or even make other anime fans that are new to the medium, that are new to just all these different series, to begin to adopt these types of mentalities like right away, and it won't even make them interested in other series. Heck, you know how many people call Fairy Tail trash or mid and have never seen it? It is a lot, and that's because they trust the opinions of other people online that say it, instead of watching it for themselves and deciding that it's bad, or saying that it's mid. I'm giving Fairy Tail as an example because it's probably one of the most hated anime ever, because of reasons, and I still enjoy it, and that's my opinion. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm trying to get at. Mid is not an insult. It has basically lost all meaning, but now people still consider it an insult, and I feel like at this point in time, we should just stop using this word to just mean mid and to just stop associating it with being bad or trash, because it's simply not. It's honestly just meaning it was okay. I didn't really enjoy it as much as you did, or I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that I would be super crazy about. I'd probably watch it again, but who knows? It depends on my mood. That's kind of the impression that saying it like that will end up giving across, and not many people will see it that way. But yeah, I rambled on for long enough. I really like making this type of video. This is probably not going to do well at all because this is different from any of the content I make, and new to the algorithm, it's probably going to bomb spectacularly. But hey, I just needed to get this off my chest for a while, and I honestly really just wanted to vent a little bit and just give my piece on this whole mid situation. Big thanks to RJ for coming on and actually talking about this as well. He does really good stuff. He does primarily anime content, and it's all relatively wholesome. He does a lot of really well researched videos for different topics on different anime. It's honestly really good stuff, and you should definitely give him a subscribe. He's a really cool guy, really chill, and honestly, you won't regret it whatsoever. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This ended up being longer than I thought it was going to be because I kind of rambled on a bit. But if you like more videos like this, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and to be updated for future videos. It really helps. And hell, if there's other series outside of the content that I usually make that you want me to do quick reviews on, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll most likely get around to it because there's a bunch of different series that I do in fact want to get into, give a try, and even review and talk about. So just let me know in the comment section below. And with all that's said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.